into mountain pose. Let's bring our feet a little closer than hip width apart. Soft knees but straight legs. We're tilting the tailbone back, shoulders back and down. We are, hey, and we're breathing. Calm. We have dogs. We're taking an inhale and an exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Dean, you could use some Zen. Let's take a deep breath. Let's slowly start to sweep our arms up. And we're going to take our first swan dive. So our backs are going to feel a little bit tight, swan diving off, bending the knees if we need. And taking that breath up. We're exhaling down. We're inhaling up. When we go down on our exhale, we're pulling the belly tight and sweeping back up. The warmer we feel the hamstrings getting, the straighter we can keep those knees. Let's take an inhale, and then we're going to exhale down. We're going to hang out in forward fold for a moment. Let's inhale to fingertips and just bring the torso a little bit closer to the legs. Tilting the tailbone up. We can keep our fingers on the floor, or we can take an elbow in each hand. We're breathing. The straighter we get the legs, the higher we tilt the tailbone, the better it's going to feel. If we want, we can start to sway the upper body. Let's come back to the center, sliding our hands up our shins. We're going to hold in supported monkey. And while we're in supported monkey, we're going to take a couple adjustments. We're going to slide the shoulder blades back towards the hips. We're going to tilt the tailbone up. We want to try to get rid of any rounding that is happening in our back. We're breathing here. Our inhales are big. Our exhales contract. When we contract in a supported monkey, we want to feel the back muscles involved. So we're inhaling. Take a deep breath. And then on the exhale, pulling in, we feel the back engage. Keep breathing. We're inhaling and exhaling. Well, the neighbors have dogs over now too. Our breath is in, our breath is out. Let's exhale. Let's release back to forward fold. And now let's bring our hands to the floor, stepping back into our first downward dog. Speaking of dogs, Dean, relax. Let's start to pedal the heels here. We're sinking our chest. We're pressing fingertips and knuckles down. While we're pedaling the heels, we can still be tilting our tailbone up, and that is important. We're always working on the structures of our body. Let's come up to tippy toes, tilting the ankles in a little bit. Let's inhale forward to plank. We're going to bring the hips level with the shoulders, chin to fingertips. We're breathing, we're holding, we're really strong here. Hiking the hips back and then lowering the heels towards the floor. Taking a micro bend in the knees. We're breathing. Now let's inhale, take it forward again. We're holding this plank. Our chin is past the fingertips a little bit. The hips are lifted. We never want to sink through the back here. Hiking the hips back up. We're in downward dog. Let's take a bend in the knees deep enough that we can sink our belly into the thighs. We're still pressing fingertips and knuckles down. We have yogi fingers, starfish hands, whatever term we like there. Tilting the tailbone up. We're just using downward dog to let those shoulders feel a little bit of heat. We should just hang out here and breathe together. I love downward dog. Let's inhale forward to plank. Let's take a few breaths here. We want to shift forward on to the tippy toes. We're breathing. Pike the hips back. And then one more time, we're going to sink the knees towards the floor and take the belly towards those legs, pushing fingertips and knuckles into the mat. We're breathing, tilting the tailbone up. Our ears should be right between the biceps here. Every exhale sinks the upper body. We're checking in that we're not locking elbows. We would never do that. And then slowly we're going to bring our knees to the floor. We're going to sink back into child's pose, whatever version we want. We can stretch the arms forward. We can stack the fists underneath our forehead, whatever feels good for us. And then we're going to start to swivel the hips side to side. And then coming back to the center, we're going to draw up to hands and knees. We want to make sure the knees are under the hips, the wrists are under the shoulders. We're going to push away from the floor, and we're just going to breathe right here. We're inhaling through the nose, so our belly is going to expand. And then exhaling, we contract. Belly goes in tight. Inhaling. Exhaling. Again, on the exhale, we should feel the back muscles engage. Inhale, we're expanding the lungs. Exhale, contracting the lungs. Let's keep breathing. We have a neutral spine here. We don't want to drop and we don't want to press up. Very flat back. Just a few more intentional expanding breaths. And then we're going to sink back into child's pose. If we're stretching our arms out in child's pose, let's lift up to fingertips so we're stretching the wrists and shoulders. Let's come back into downward dog. And we're sinking the chest. We can take those deep knee bends if we need. Lord, help me. Let's take an inhale forward to plank. Let's bring the knees down, and the elbows are going to go straight back for a half crocodile. Rolling to the belly, we're lifting the chest up, squeeze the elbows in, and we're exhaling child's pose. Downward dog. We're going to inhale forward to plank. We're going to bring the knees down. We're going to take the elbows squeezing in for that half croc, rolling it up. Baby cobra. Squeezing the elbows in, child's pose. Woo. Downward dog. Holding downward dog. Stay right there, folks. I'll be back. If you've never owned a Great Dane, they really are scared of everything, and that's why he's barking. Let's take the right leg up into the air, Dean. How about you move? And let's point and flex that right foot. We're going to take that right foot and we're going to step it up between our thumbs, and we're coming in to high lunge right here. Breathing. Let's lift the back knee up. We're strong here. The front knee is shifted forward. The toes are loose. We're breathing. It's a great day to be alive. We keep saying that to ourselves. It's a great day to have dogs. Breathing. It's a great day to practice ignoring distractions. We're going to take this high lunge and we're going to move it all the way to straddle. So we've moved the toes in here. We're going to inhale all the way up. We're going to exhale. Just come in to a fold. Inhaling to fingertips. Let's exhale. Just sink a little bit deeper. And then right here, let's turn the heels in and drop to a squat. So we're taking the knees out over the ankles. We're going to inhale, tighten the belly as we exhale. And then on the next move, we're inhaling all the way to the top. We're exhaling down, squatting sunflowers. Our breath is big. We're exhaling down. We should be feeling some heat here, or at least our heart rate going up. Maybe we have some sweat. And we're going up and down. Let's take one more sunflower down. We're going to inhale up, and then we're going to pivot right back to that high lunge. The right knee should be forward here. We're reaching tall. Let's lift the back knee so we feel the glutes engage. Slowly, let's bring our hands to the floor. Let's step front. Inhale to supportive monkey. Exhaling down. Let's inhale all the way up. Let's take our chair. Inhaling to back bend. Let's swan dive. Monkey or supportive monkey. Down we go. Let's step that right foot back to downward dog. Breathe. Slight micro bend in the knees if we need. Always a micro bend in the elbows. Let's inhale forward to plank. Let's stay really strong here, you guys. Let's keep our hips lifted as we squeeze the elbows back for crocodile. Upward dog. Shoulders back, knees lifted. Really strong here. Downward dog. Breathing. Let's take our left foot up into the air. Point and flex. And then let's step it through. High lunge on this side. Whoop. Breathing. The back knee is lifted. The front knee is shifting forward. We're reaching tall. We're on the tippy toes of the back foot. The arms in the air, let's rotate so the forearms and the palms are coming towards each other. Breathing. Making sure the toes are loose on the mat. All right, you guys, we're going to pivot to that straddle, so we want the heels to go out, and we're going to inhale up. I'm going to turn around here in a moment. Just hang out in straddle split, stretching those legs. Inhaling up to fingertips, and then exhaling down. Just pause here. Breathing, sinking. All right, let's lift up. And now we're going to turn the heels in, bending the knees. We inhale up. We're taking our sunflowers. When we're doing sunflowers, we want to avoid this movement of bending at the hips. It is a deep knee bend, and we need to do these. We have to keep our knees moving. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Hopefully you guys have some nice yoga music playing. Let's inhale up, breathing. We are going to swivel back around so that left foot is in the front. We are holding that lunge for a moment. Hands come down, stepping forward to fold. Supported monkey. Exhale, release. Sweep it up. We're going to lower to chair. Inhaling to back bend. Let's take our swan dive. Regular monkey or supported release. Stepping the left foot back, downward dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Squeeze those elbows in, hips lifted. Croc. Upward dog. Shoulders back. Breathe. Knees off the floor. Breathe. We're on the tops of our feet. Excellent. Downward dog. Breathe. So much breathing involved. Let's take the right foot up into the air. And let's bring it through between the thumbs. High lunge on this side. Back knee lifted. Front knee forward. When we're in lunge, it's like both feet are on train tracks. We want to make sure that we have this hip movement lined up. We're breathing. We're going to take the back foot. We're going to settle it down to warrior one. So now, since the heel moved in, we're on a tightrope or one of those railroad tracks. The hips are moving forward, breathing. The back knee is straight here. We are working on big muscle groups when we're in warrior poses. Knee forward, toes loose. Breathing. From this warrior, we're going to warrior two. Now I have long legs, so I want to wiggle out to a little bit of a wider warrior two. I want my front knee to shift forward, and I don't want to lean into the pose. I want to be really strong here, and so do you. Shoulders slide down. Our head is looking out over that right hand. The front knee is tracking over the ankle, not in, not out. Let's remember the philosophy behind warrior two. The back hand is in the past. The front hand is in the future, you know, when we can be back together. But the heart is in the present moment. Breathing. Let's keep this knee right here. Push that front palm up and reverse warrior. Try to keep that front knee forward. Let's stay strong. We don't have anything better to do on a Friday night but to stay strong. So let's make sure we're here. Breathing. We're here and now. Warrior two. We're going to hang out here. I know it's burning. Feels good, right? Let's take those shoulders that are carrying tension and slide them down. You guys didn't pull out of this warrior two, right? I know you're still here with me. Right? Right. We're going to straighten the front leg and we're going to turn it to straddle. Let's inhale up right here. Then we're going to sweep those arms behind us, lacing our fingers if we can. If we can't lace fingers, we're going to pretend that we're holding a beach ball so all of our hands are engaged. We want to make sure that we're not touching our back or our butt with those arms. So let's inhale, chest up, shoulders slide back and down, and we're going to tilt the tailbone behind us, and we're going to lean halfway down. We're going to push the butt back. We're going to hold our abs tight, and we're breathing. Let's inhale all the way up. Let's reach tall. We're going to turn the heels back in. We're going to exhale down to moonflowers. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Every time we come down, our abs should be contracting to push air out of our body. Our toes are loose on the mat. Boy, the beginning of this class was a little chaotic here, but it settled into a nice little flow. It all works out. Let's inhale to the top. Let's bring our hands down to the waistline. Now we're going to turn that warrior two into a high lunge. So the left knee is forward, the back foot is up, the knee is up, and we're in high lunge. We're shifting into high lunge. Tall back leg, toes loose in the front. So we're doing our lunge at a different angle just so we can feel and see the difference. Breathing, shoulders come down our back, but the fingertips are reaching. And if we are doing lunge, it's on those railroad tracks. This glute should be tight. Now from lunge, we take the back foot and we just turn the heel in. Now the heels are on the same railroad track, but this hip is still forward. Breathing. Fingertips up, shoulders down. We're shifting the knee front. We're breathing. This back leg right here, don't let it bend so much, but we want to straighten it strong. Not locked, but straight. We're still breathing. We're still reaching the fingertips, but dropping the shoulders. Dynamic stretching. From here, we're going to open to warrior two. We're going to make sure that we widen our stance out if we know we should. We're shifting that front knee forward over the ankle, not in, not out. And then we're opening the arms. Shoulders slide down. We want to take this and not dump. We're really strong here. Remember, the back arm is the past, front arm is the future, and the heart is in the present moment. Let's shift our knee forward a little bit more. We know we're here for a little bit. I know you have it in you to hang out here and stay. Breathe. Big inhales, big exhales that contract. Let's sink our body weight a little bit lower into the pose, but we're growing tall through the top of our head. Shoulders down. We're going to flip the front palm up. We're going to keep everything solid here, but take that arm up for a reach for reverse warrior. That front knee stayed forward, you guys. I know we're feeling heat. It's good stuff. And if we're cheating, we'll know it. Lift the 5 toes up in the front, and we'll know right in that moment if we were cheating. Gently reset the toes down, back into warrior two. We're hanging out here. We're breathing. We're strong. Shifting the knee forward. Remember, it's tracking over the ankle, not out, not in. We're breathing. I would love to know how much heat you guys are feeling right here. So, in this moment, think of a word that describes heat, not negative. You can't use pain. But in this moment, think of a word that describes what warrior two is making us feel right now. Remember that word, because at the end of class, I want it in the comments. Maybe you're just like, I feel nothing but love from my yoga teacher. I know that's not true, but hang out here. How are we doing? What's your word? Did you come up with it? All right, we're gonna swivel to that straddle leg. Holding on to the hips, let's press back. Breathing, coming into straddle. Inhale, fingertips up. We want our head above our heart here. And now we're bringing our hands to our shins, lifting to a flat back. Our chin is lifted and we can glance forward here. We're inhaling, our ribs expand. We're exhaling, our ribs contract. Inhaling, lungs expand. Exhaling, lungs contract. We're breathing. And while we're holding this, our shoulders are not creeping up to our ears. We are strong, shoulder blades slide back. All right, you guys, toes out, heels in, and then let's reach all the way up to our 5-pointed star. We're breathing, and then on the next breath, we exhale down, squeeze to that moonflower, inhale up. Exhale, squeeze the elbows right into the ribs. Our arms squeezing in should be like a vice on the ribs. This is how we build up a lot of lean muscle in yoga. Toes are loose, no squeezing the mat. And then again, we don't want to be dumping our body forward. We want our torso going straight up and straight down. Oh my gosh, it's only 6:04. We have so much time left. You guys probably want to murder me right now, and that brings joy to my soul. Take one more breath up. We're inhaling. And then let's exhale. We're going to turn the toes in back to straddle. Leaning forward. Then we inhale to fingertips. We're going to be practicing a deeper straddle split here. So we're inhaling to fingertips. Deep breath. Exhale. Let's lower to fold. Tailbone up. Elbows are bending. Always feel a little unbalanced in straddle, keeping our hands on the floor at all times. Breathing. If we're a little more comfortable here, we can move our hands out to the toes. Our head is loose. Our tailbone is still practicing that tilt up. We should feel the hamstrings singing a little bit. And then if we are completely comfortable in straddle, we can take and turn the tops of our hands down onto the mat. And then on the next exhale, we walk those hands back. We drop our chin to our chest. And we're breathing. Tilting the tailbone up, straightening the legs in whichever version we're practicing. Maybe our hands are still way here at the front, and that is fine. Every exhale deepens the pose. But we are yoga professionals and we know this. Let's slowly bring our hands flat to the mat and lift our head up. And then lift to fingertips or knuckles so that our head is above our heart. We want to make sure that we're bringing our blood pressure down. Breathing. We're just doing a simple balance today. We're just doing a little bit of a Buddha pose. So what we want to do is turn the toes out, and then we want to drop the hips. And if we can, we want to keep our feet as flat as possible. And we're bringing our hands together in at heart center. So we don't want our hips way up here in the air. We want to drop our hips and bring our chest and chin up. Those of us with hip issues, this is a really great practice for us. If our knees are trying to press in, the elbows are pushing out. Let's make sure the flat of our foot is down and we can wiggle our toes. I can hear some of your voices now, and it does warm my heart. Taking a deep breath, hands on the floor. We're going to straighten the heels back out to that straddle split. Bringing our hands to our shins, we're going to lift up, breathe. Our inhales and our exhales should be deep here. We're going to practice that Buddha balance one more time. So we want to bring our fingertips to the floor first. We want to turn the heels in, toes out, loose. We want to drop the hips. And then when we're ready, we're bringing our hands to heart center. Our knees are out. Our elbows are pressing against the inside of the knees. If we don't like it here, don't stay here. We can come back to straddle split or even the supported straddle split. Nothing should cause us great pain in yoga. We should feel a lot of stretching and a lot of heat, but nothing that, doesn't feel like it belongs. If we are down in that Buddha squat, bringing our hands to the floor, and we're all meeting in this supported straddle. Breathing. And then when we're ready, starting at the tailbone, let's roll all the way up. And here we get to practice more of our intense forward folds with our chest expansions. So those of us with tight shoulders, hang in there because here it comes. We are taking behind us. So if I'm standing like this and I can't lace fingers, my hands look like this. And we are never locking elbows. So lacing looks like this, like we have our arms wrapped around a barrel. And now that our legs are warmed up, maybe our straddle split can be a little bit wider, our choice. Whichever of these hand grips that we have, we're going to make sure we're not touching our back or butt. Taking a deep breath. On the exhale, we're going to push the butt back and just drop halfway. Holding that, breathing, breathing, breathing. We're still breathing. And now inhaling up. We're at the top. Check in because we'll know if our shoulders were way up here. We want to slide those down. We can stop halfway this next time, or we can go all the way. So taking a deep breath, we're hinging at the hips, push the butt back. Hinging, we can take our knuckles up towards the ceiling here. Breathing. Not locking elbows, not locking knees. Press away from the body. We're really stretching here. We want to feel the shoulders and the chest in this move. Press a little bit higher. The shoulders should be pulling away from the ears. Slowly, bending the knees a little bit, we come back up. Slowly, because that was an inversion. And then we bring those arms around. Hug a barrel. We're going to tuck the hips in here. And then we're taking that chest expansion again. So again, behind us, our hands can look like this, like we're holding onto a beach ball, or they can lace. Taking a deep breath, reaching back. Pressing those arms away from our body, shoulders away from our ears. We're inhaling tall. We're now going to exhale halfway. Check in here. If we know our straddle split can go wider, take it wider. Let's hinge the rest of the way down if we want. Woo, these shoulders are on fire. Press away from the ears. The shoulders should draw up towards the ceiling. Every exhale should take my fold a little bit deeper. Breathing. Always active. Pull those shoulder blades. Breathe. Breathe. All right, you guys, slowly roll it up. Carefully, we're going to step our feet together. Finding mountain pose. Ooh, sometimes those inversions are a little tougher of a balance than just standing on one leg. We're going to take our right arm, we're going to windmill it. Because if we were doing those chest expansions, we're feeling it. So when we windmill, we don't want our whole body to move. We just want to move through the shoulder. Let's pause at the bottom and then reverse. And then roll, mountain pose. The other arm goes up and back. Again, this is just a movement from the shoulder. We don't want our whole body rolling because then it's our body moving, not the shoulder. I sure hope you guys are sweating like I am. Let's check in with the tailbone because we want it tilted back. And we wouldn't have locked knees, right? pause at the bottom and then reverse that circle. I hope you guys are picking a couple yoga videos a week. If you can't find them on Facebook, they are uploaded to YouTube. All right, finding that mountain pose. We are breathing. And our body is now super warm, so mountain pose should feel very natural to us. Those shoulder blades are rolling back and down. The tailbone is back, soft knees. We're super strong in mountain pose. Our body weight drops down, but we are growing tall through the very top of our head. We're just breathing here. I always think that mountain pose at this stage of the game is just a powerful pose. We have all 10 fingers stretched out, engaging more muscle. Toes are loose on the mat. In fact, let's pick all those toes up. Put space between each toe and put them back on the mat for breathing. All right, you guys, we're going to try to balance down to our toe stand without fingertips on the floor. But again, if we need fingertips on the floor, we would do that. So we're going to try to scoop forward to chair pose and then go all the way down. We get a bunch of cracks out of our knees and ankles here, squeezing the knees together. Now we can reach back and bring our booty to the floor. We're going to sit in staff pose, feet flexed, legs close together, shoulders back, hands flat on the floor if we can. Some of us like to think we have T-Rex arms, so hands on a block here sometimes is helpful. But true staff pose is hands down, pushing into the floor. Straight arms, shoulders back. We should be able to sit up tall and forward in this pose. We're going to come into a fun little twist balance stretch here. So we get to pick where we go and pick where we pause. So we're going to bend in the right knee. So just the heel is touching the floor here. We're going to take the left hand and reach it forward. So opposite hand to the leg. We're going to inhale as tall as we can. We're going to kind of karate chop that arm across so it's now supporting this leg. We're inhaling tall. Let's sweep the other arm behind us so that we are in a twist. We're inhaling tall. We're exhaling, twisting. If our neck is comfortable, we can look back. So this is the first option. We'll do it each side and then we'll move on. Let's come back to the center. Staff pose. Let's move the left leg up. That toe, the toes are up, the ankle is flexed. The opposite arm goes straight out. And we're going to karate chop it across. This is supporting this knee now. We're going to inhale tall and sweep the opposite arm back. And we're in this twist. We're inhaling taller. We're exhaling, we're twisting, and we're still breathing in this pose. Check in with this shoulder that it's not way up here, that is dropping. Squeezing that bent knee in. Slowly we're releasing. So we can go back to that stretch if we'd like, or we can take this a step deeper. So we're going to take the peace fingers of the left hand around the big toe of the right foot. We're going to lift that leg up, and we would not lock this knee. So we're inhaling tall, we're exhaling, twisting. So this is the second option. The first is that karate chop across the bent knee. Breathing. Taller, twisting deeper. And release. Back in staff pose. So we want to take the right peace fingers around the left big toe. We're squeezing the big toe back. Remember, we can take that karate chop option if we like. And we're extending this leg up. That big toe is always squeezing back, no locking. We're inhaling tall. We're exhaling, sweeping back. Always inhaling tall. Exhaling to deepen the twist. Breathing. Inhaling taller. Exhale, twist. Keep that breath. All right, you guys, we're releasing. We are getting ready to roll down. So let's hold on to the knees and then slowly come down to the floor. We're going to rock the knees side to side. Remember, we don't want to cross our ankles here. And now let's open the knees up. We're reaching for the ankles or lacing our fingers around the edge of our feet. Breathing, shoulders back and relaxed. And then let's take our grip to the outside of our feet, finding our dead bug. Shoulders relax back. We can hold on to our ankles here if we need. And then slowly, let's bring our feet flat to the floor, and we're going to stack our hands underneath our head. We're going to sway the knees side to side. This should feel really good on our back, on our hips. Keeping our hands underneath our head, let's exhale and draw the knees in. Pausing here, we take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, we're dropping our knees to the left first. We're going to try to keep both shoulders flat, both elbows flat, and our gaze stays up in this twist. We're breathing big, and then we exhale. Pull the belly button in tight, twisting deeper. Continuing that deep breath. Taking a deep breath, we roll the knees back to the center. We're going to switch which hand is on the bottom. Try to walk the shoulders away from our ears. We're going to inhale first, and then we exhale the knees to the other side. Trying to flatten shoulders, flatten the elbows. Our gaze stays up here. We inhale deep, and then we exhale, contract. Trying to relax as our breathing does the twist. And then easy does it. We tighten the belly as we roll the knees back into the center. We're going to bring our feet flat to the floor, release the hands down, palms up, and just sway the knees side to side. So while we're swaying the knees, we want to check in, see how our spine is. If we're feeling discomfort in our back, we just want to walk our feet out as wide as the mat. Turn the toes in a tiny bit. This will tilt our knees in to relax. Otherwise, we can take our legs out and down wider than the mat, letting the toes roll open. Whichever position we are in, let's walk the shoulders down away from our ears. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. We're going to open our mouth and move our jaw side to side. Then gently bringing our lips back together. Let's take an inhale, and as we inhale, let's stretch out all 10 toes and all 10 fingers. We're going to inhale deeper and keep that stretch as we squeeze the glutes and the shoulders. Let's squeeze the abs, squeeze the eyebrows. A little different today. Let's inhale deeper, squeeze tighter, and then exhale, releasing. We're inhaling together. We're exhaling together. We're taking a few moments to be still in all the chaos. Let's wiggle our fingers and toes. And instead of rolling to one side or the other, we're going to gently draw in one of our knees and point and flex that foot. If we were laying flat, we can bring the other foot to the mat. Let's switch sides, pointing and flexing. And when we're ready, we're holding on to the pits of our knees and rocking up to a seated pose. We're breathing. Let's find our hands on our knees, rolling our shoulders up and back and down. We're almost done here, you guys. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's close our eyes. Let's inhale. We're reaching up. Let's pause at the very top. And then exhaling down. Inhaling, we're reaching up. Pausing. Exhaling. Let's take one more breath together. We're inhaling all the way up to the top. Let's just pause, stretch, and then exhale to heart center. Namaste. Good job, you guys.